Never judge a book by its cover. I love that saying. I think it's a great one to live by, but here's the reality, is that we judge books by their cover every single day. I'm talking about human beings, situations. Every day we're out there, we're making superficial judgments. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 ways that I make superficial judgments whenever I meet someone for the first time. So I know I'm going to get some flack for this video, and for those of you that have transcended reality and never judge a person based off of how they behave or how they look, great, you can skip this video. But for the rest of us that live in the real world and have to make superficial decisions, because that's all that we have to make these decisions, whether it be their score on a test, whether it be, an interview, whether it be what they're telling us, all of this is surface information, because if you really want to get to know someone, you have to spend a lot of time. And that's why a lot of this superficial information is actually inaccurate, but still you can sabotage yourself. You can screw up your chances of getting that job or getting that next date with that person if you don't master what I'm about to talk about in this video. So the first thing I judge a person on is their management of time. Basically, are they punctual when they show up to meet with me? Whenever we have a phone call, whenever we have a meeting. Someone that misses once, okay, I understand. Situations happen, and I'm always one to forgive, but I don't forget, because if you miss it again, then I'm going to say this person just doesn't value my time. Emergencies happen, but it's very rarely that these happen again and again. And many people are going to put off the excuse, oh, it's not my fault. I was stuck in traffic. I, forgot. I didn't have a timer set. This, again, it happens once. But if it happens consistently, this is showing that this person doesn't value time. Item number 2 I want to judge you on is preparation, or your lack of preparation. You see, preparation is pretty much the same thing as work. It's you making the time, putting in the effort, and putting your head down to make things happen, to be ready for life's important and sometimes just regular everyday events. And I think it's a great indicator. Is this person going to make a great employee? Are they going to make a great life partner? Do they actually prepare for things, or do they just let things happen to them? When I talk about style, image, all this stuff, here what's interesting about this is it does require a lot of preparation to have a great fitted suit ready when you've got that interview at a last minute notice, because you could show up and use the excuse, oh, I just didn't have a suit ready, and I had to wear, I came right from work. Or you can say, you know what, I was ready for this opportunity. I already had the suit bought. It was already fitted, versus you having to start off the interview explaining why you don't look the part and that they should just trust that you are going to next time make it happen. It doesn't work that way. People make split-second decisions based off of your lack of preparation. The next item I'm going to judge you off is based off of your manners. Now, manners are not etiquette. Etiquette, you could even say, falls under preparation, but etiquette is actually knowing the rules of a certain society. It changes from culture to culture, but let's say you sit down at the table, there's multiple forks, spoons, knives, all this flatware. How do you use it, in which order? That's etiquette. I'm not going to cover that in this video, and I don't think you should judge someone based off of their inability to function within some rules that were created. But manners are different. Manners are how you make other people feel, and I pay attention to the way, not just how you treat me, because maybe you're trying to impress me, get a job with my company, or you want to work with me as a business partner, but how do you treat others? How do you treat the waiter as we're sitting down to, how are you treating those under you? How do you treat your fellow employees? So pay attention to your mannerisms and never treat people without giving them the due respect that as human beings they deserve. The next item I'm going to judge you on is your language and your speaking ability. So a few things here. But first off, let's talk about your lexicon. If you only have a few descriptors, you're not very good with using adjectives, or you don't really know how to even put something into words, how can you describe it? One of the things when I look at someone, if they're well-spoken, I assume they're well-traveled, they're well-read. All of these things that they've got a higher level of education. Now, these are assumptions and they are not always true, but it is something we make a judgment call on. Let's look at the use of vulgarities. So I do think there is a time and place for cuss words. They can add emphasis. They can grab attention. If somebody's wandering off, you can bring them back with a word like that that is strategically put into the sentence. But if every other word out of your mouth is the F word, is the S word, instantly I'm thinking, gosh, like, what is this guy's level of education? And I don't want my kids around this person, because my kids, I don't want them speaking like this. Now let's talk about your presentation and speaking skills. This is something no one is born naturally able to get up on stage and just present themselves at a very high level. You need to practice. I recommend going to conferences, maybe going to Toastmasters. Put yourself in a situation that you have to engage with other human beings. And it doesn't matter if you're an introvert. I know I am, but you don't have to be a natural extrovert. You just need to understand that sometimes you got to flip this switch on. You've got to be able to put your message out there. Because if you've got a company, if you are trying to start a nonprofit, if you're trying to meet someone like a great life partner, you want to be thinking, hey, I've got to put myself out there. Otherwise, I'm going to be that guy standing in the corner like this that people are going to say, who was that person? I didn't even talk to him. Don't be that guy. Learn to master this skill. So number 5 on this list, the last way that I judge you based off of my view of the world. My myopic, small, very narrow focused, growing up in Texas, going to college in Iowa, having a business in Wisconsin. Yeah, I've been maybe to like 20 countries or something like that, but I've still got a very narrow view of the world. And when you understand that people see the world and they make judgments based off this narrow view, you realize, okay, well, the way I'm going to get past this, the way I'm going to get them to not judge me, not be superficial, is to get beyond the superficial. You do that by forming real relationships, finding common ground and breaking off from there. So I highly advise, if you're interested in being a non-judgmental person, then take the time to get to know your fellow people. Travel, get out there and make friends, to engage with people who maybe you've got, you're diametrically opposed to them when it comes to some key fundamental issues. Find out, why do they truly try to understand, why do they believe this? Because when you do that, you're going to become less judgmental. And guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I had a little bit of fun, got a little bit philosophical with it, I feel. And I will see you in the comments. If you've got questions, you got comments, I would love to hear from you guys. Maybe one of your bad habits of being judgmental about certain things. I know everything I said, again, is from my point of view, my goal as a business owner. But I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments. I'll see you down there. Take care. Whoa, don't leave yet. Really quick, wanted to let you know I'm giving away some really cool things, such as this pocket square. We actually made 400 of them. I've got other cool items that I'm making available, but here's the deal, is that there's a limited time that you can grab these. And I know you don't want to miss these things, so make sure to click here on the notification right there on YouTube so that you get emails when my videos come out. Normally I'm putting them out Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, but you may see some random videos go out, oftentimes with some pretty good limited time deals. So I don't want you to miss these. Make sure you're in the notification squad.